The 12th, Mercury was at 3 degrees, and then on the 18th, 6 days later, it's at 14. So Mercury moves very quick when it is in direct motion. Mars within your chart, it's giving you a good indicator of what drives you, what kind of like what's important, what pushes you, what lights a fire within you. Mercury is like, what are we thinking about? What are we talking about? Maybe what we're preoccupied with. Mars is like, what do we want to like push forward? What do we want to start? What do we want to do? What do we want to get done? What are we feeling passionate about? And so when those transits are happening, it's like you could have shifts in those markers. So you could have, you're thinking and talking about one thing, but then you're really motivated to get stuff done in a different area of life. So that's another, again, kind of straightforward, simple way of looking at just the planetary transiting ingresses. Leo, fire sign, is all about performing, creativity, play, like let's have fun. So you could be more motivated to lean into self-expression, have fun, having a good time, maybe even being the center of attention. Leo wants to be a star, wants to be the center of the show. So you can have that happening at the same time. And naturally, you can see why there's a tension there, because if Mercury is like, I want to be chill, I just want to like be at home under a comfy blanket and have a nice drink and a snack or something and listen to music. That's a totally different vibe than like, I want to have fun and I want people to look at me and like while I'm having fun or while I'm creating something. So depending on you and the person, the people that you are involved with, and the house areas, it will show up in different ways. But when you have a square, again, there's some sort of a lesson. There's some way that you're being pushed to think about things, Mercury, and act about things, act towards, stop action, maybe, with what's happening with Mars. So we're making a connection between our actions and our thoughts, our communication, with the Taurus area of our chart, which inherently is infused with slowing down and being sensory and comfortable. And then the Leo area of our chart, an area that's ruled by the sun, wants the light of day, wants to self-express. And ultimately what we're doing is we're linking our words, our communication with our actions in a way that might not go as smoothly as we would like because of the tension, because stubbornness of Taurus, because of a flaring ego, Mars being impulsive in a fire sign of Leo, which thinks about the self, me as an individual. And so we're being taught something, being mindful of what we're saying, what we're thinking, what we are doing, how we are centering ourselves or not. And it's just, it's a flash in the pan. Mercury moves very quickly, but being aware specifically for this day, because these are both personal planets. These are some of your essences of how you are as an individual. So when they're interacting with each other, there's often more of like a really obvious manifestation of it. Mine's 10th house for Leo. I just got a promotion at work. As this is a manager, congratulations. For 10th house, Leo, you're going to be factoring in career. So Mars moving into your career house is like taking a lot of action in how you're seen by other people, your reputation, career as in long-term goals for your career, not like what's my job right now. It's like really thinking about the big picture, taking action and being strategic about the things that you're doing to really take shape the direction of your profession, whatever it is that you're doing, your purpose in some ways. And then when you are having that interplay with Mercury and Taurus, the lessons in are how you were thinking about your relationship. So it's the relationship between the long-term partnerships that you have. Maybe it's business that works with the career. Maybe it's personal. So there could be a tension between who you're making deals with, or mentors that you have, or bosses that you have, and how that's impacting what's going on in your career and the decisions that you're making. That's the Mars. Or it could be what's going on with my personal relationships, like my partner, my spouse. How is there a tension between that and am I prioritizing my career too much or over them? So again, those are just really high level 2 examples of ways that could present. The more that you look at these transits, the more that you can better understand your chart in a more nuanced way, because I can, just as any astrologer can, explain, oh, well, Taurus, means generally this, and the 10th house means generally that, but it doesn't always present in the same exact way for everyone. So if you know, okay, over time, it seems like every time I have a Mercury transit in my 10th house, that I have these types of events happening. That's a pattern for you. And that's why it's really great to pay attention to what's going on here. So the hope is all of these classes give everyone an opportunity to just kind of check in. And if you're writing any of this stuff down or keeping notes anywhere, then it's really great. Whatever, if you want to use logs for your own learning, you can just identify different patterns to say, so in my personal astrology, what does this transit seem to mean? And you can always look back at it. So you can wait till the transit's over and then reflect and say, okay, so what came up in those areas? And then you just have a sample size of 1, so you do it again. And so you could just keep tracking, if you wanted to, you could say, I'm just going to track what's happening with Mercury the entire year. Did I notice anything on all of those Mercury ingresses or those aspects, those squares? And then it gives you a record of something to look back at. And if you're not too much of a log person, if you're not if you're not very strong in the Virgo or Capricorn areas in particular, or even Scorpio, that may not be your thing, even though you are curious about it. It's not something that is in your wheelhouse. That's where coming to these classes hopefully provides some support, or getting a one-on-one reading. It's like, I can just do that work for you. And then you can look at it. And then, like I do in all of my chart readings, is I give everyone suggested practices. So journaling prompts, or, hey, maybe you could consider doing X, Y, and Z thing, or brainstorming ways to work with this energy or that energy. So I give you some options if you want to play with any of it more and kind of keep engaging so that you can better understand it. My new bullet journaling is helping so much. Yes. With logging all of this, being able to track my moon intentions, how things are coming through. It's wild how accurate my energies are aligned. Exactly. And that's why I encourage people, because, I do intuitive readings as well. And I find that the more that I understand my astrology, or just the collective astrology, the more that I have found case after case where I have intuited something, and then later I look at the astrology and realize that it lines up with it from my experience, that there is a very, very strong link. So it's not even just I'm getting messages from my spirit team, all of your spirit teams in the Monday classes, but there's collective energy, there's things that are being shifted and moved. And so then I'm tapping into some of that stuff as well. Like I'll get dates for certain things to happen, and then I look it up later. I'm like, oh my gosh, like there's an ingress happening that day that like totally lines up with what I said. Helpful, I have found, to kind of keep some record of some examples. And if anything, again, these classes offer an opportunity for you to just kind of do that here in this container. And even if these, hour classes a couple times a month or something is just you sitting there looking at your calendar, looking at notes, jotting a couple things down, then it's something. It gives you something to look back on, think about, and start connecting some of those dots. Leslie, this has been amazing. I just found you. Definitely will be back. Oh, thank you. The word woo attracted me, and I'm definitely that. Yeah. Well, the reason that I name these classes Woo Talk Wednesdays is, one, who doesn't love alliteration, but also because it allows me to keep it a little bit more flexible, because these Wednesday classes are sometimes psychic development classes, sometimes they're natal chart readings, sometimes they're astrology lectures, sometimes it's some sort of other psychic topic, intuition lecture, like I had one on seeing signs and asking for signs from the universe. So it gives me kind of an umbrella to put all of the above under. And then Mondays are my reading classes. So I have all of my different oracle and tarot decks, and they all begin with the letter M, which is convenient. So then it's just, I have my alliteration there.